You know what truly worries me about my patients after the age of 50? It's not their blood pressure. It's not their cholesterol. It's something much quieter, something people rarely talk about. And yet, I see it almost every day. It's the moment a person begins to lose mental clarity and slowly, almost without noticing it, starts accepting it as normal. They say, "Doctor, I guess this is just aging." And every time I hear that, I pause, because I know something they don't. In many cases, this is not aging. This is a process, a slow, silent, biological process. And if you don't understand it, it keeps moving forward. Now let me tell you about someone I saw recently. A man, 62 years old, smart, active, still working. He came to me and said, "Doctor, something is happening to my mind. Not something dramatic, but something was changing." He said, "I walk into a room and forget why I'm there. I start speaking and lose my thought. I read and nothing stays." And then he said something I hear very often. He said, "It feels like my brain is in a fog." And then, almost quietly, "Maybe this is just age." But that is where people make the biggest mistake, because very often, this is not age. So I asked him something unexpected. I asked, "How is your digestion?" He looked surprised. He said, "Well, not perfect. Bloating sometimes, heaviness after meals, occasional constipation. But that's normal, right?" And I told him, "No, that may be connected to what's happening in your brain. And this is what I want you to understand. Your brain does not work in isolation. It depends on two critical things, your gut and your energy stability." Now let's talk about something very important, and I want you to listen carefully, because this is where many people begin to feel uneasy. There is a line, a very subtle line, between what people call normal forgetfulness and what later becomes something more serious. And the difficulty is this. In the early stages, they look almost the same. Forgetting why you entered a room, struggling to find a word, losing focus, feeling mentally slower. Many people dismiss these signs. They say, "It's nothing." But over time, if the underlying process continues, these small signs can accumulate. And that is what concerns me. Because in clinical practice, we often don't see a sudden decline. We see a gradual drift, a slow movement from clarity to fog to confusion. And this is where fear begins to appear. Not always openly, but quietly. People start asking themselves, is this how it starts? Is this the beginning of something I cannot stop? And that fear is understandable. But here is the important part. Early changes in mental clarity do not automatically mean serious disease, but they are signals. Signals that something in the system is not optimal. And if those signals are ignored, the system continues in the same direction. Now let's come back to the foundation, energy, because your brain depends on it every second. Your brain uses about 20% of your body's energy, even though it is a small organ. Every thought, every memory, every decision requires fuel. When that fuel is stable, your brain performs well. But when it fluctuates, your brain struggles. And one of the most common reasons for this is unstable blood sugar. Over time, your body becomes less sensitive to insulin. This is called insulin resistance, and it is extremely common after 40 or 50. What does this mean? It means your body has a harder time delivering energy to your cells, including your brain. So what happens? You eat. Your blood sugar rises quickly. Then insulin pushes it down. But sometimes it drops too fast, and your brain experiences a temporary energy shortage. And that is when you feel it. Slower thinking, difficulty focusing, memory lapses, and that fog. Then your brain reacts. It asks for quick energy. You crave sugar. You eat something sweet. And for a moment, you feel better. But only for a moment, because the cycle repeats. Up, down, up, down. And over time, this instability becomes exhausting for your brain. Now add another layer, your gut, because your gut directly influences both inflammation and metabolism. Inside your gut, there is a complex ecosystem, trillions of bacteria. When this system is balanced, it supports your health. But when it is disrupted, it creates problems. The gut lining becomes more permeable. Toxins enter the bloodstream. They reach the brain, and they interfere with how it works. Now combine both processes, unstable energy and inflammation from the gut, and you begin to see why the brain starts to struggle. Now think again about that patient. We didn't treat his brain directly. We focused on restoring balance, stabilizing energy, supporting the gut, and gradually his clarity improved, his focus improved, his confidence returned, and most importantly, his fear decreased. Because when your mind works clearly, you feel like yourself again. And that is something people don't talk about enough. It's not just about memory, it's about identity. When people begin to lose clarity, they begin to feel like they are losing themselves. And that is why this topic matters. Now let me ask you something again, and I want you to really think about it. Do you notice energy crashes during the day, cravings for sugar, fatigue after meals, bloating, digestive discomfort, and at the same time, forgetfulness, difficulty concentrating, mental fatigue? If yes, this is not coincidence. This is a system, and the earlier you respond to it, the better the outcome. Because here is the truth. The brain is adaptable, much more adaptable than most people think. We see people in their 70s and 80s with clear thinking, strong memory, sharp minds. So the question is not just age. The question is, what is happening inside the system? Now here is the good news. This process can be influenced. It can be slowed. And in many cases, it can be improved. Even simple steps matter. Reducing sugar, eating whole foods, adding protein, using healthy fats, supporting your gut. These are not extreme changes, but they can create powerful results. So let me ask you honestly, did you recognize yourself in this, even partially? If yes, write in the comments, yes, that's me, because awareness is always the first step. Let's make this very simple. Your brain needs stable energy. Your gut affects your brain, and what you eat affects both. This is not just aging, this is a process, and this process can be changed. In the next video, I will show you 5 specific foods that help stabilize your energy, support your gut, and improve mental clarity. If you want to protect your mind, your memory, and your independence as you get older, subscribe to the channel, and I will guide you step by step.